As I indicated in the Mighty Networks there, thank you for your prompts. I really appreciate the resources you put. The videos are very inspiring. And for me right now, I'm very focused on just developing the habit. And as I put in there, I'm writing 750 words a day. So far, I'm sticking to it, but I'm not worried about organizing it and getting my message exact and having supporting points. I'm just writing. And the most interesting thing has happened. It's really helped me understand my thinking. It's clarified a few things for me. I've ended up making a really big decision that I have been churning around for months. And it was just like, all of a sudden, it just became very clear. And I thought, this is really interesting. I don't know if there's any studies or what you're thinking about just the writing, I don't know if it does anything to your brain or maybe it just sort of clarifies things. I've heard, what is it, the Ship 30 do it. Justin Welsh has talked about it. You probably have done the same, but I thought it really does something when you actually physically write and don't just live in your head with all this thinking. What am I going to write? Will I do it? Can I write a book? I don't know. Procrastinate. And then when you did Mighty Networks, I thought, you know what, this is my chance. I'm going to get back at it and figure this way forward. And I thought, I live in my head. I try to figure everything out. But this writing without having to figure, just write, it has really done something for me, which I don't know if other people have ever told you that or you heard these things before. But so for me, for the next couple of weeks, that's it. Writing 750 words and something clear is coming out of it. But it looks very messy right now.
I
That's
agree.
great to
Writing has
hear.
made me understand what I believed. That
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Yeah, I found out over the past 2 or 3 decades that I think by writing. When I hate phone calls. When I get on a phone call with my business partners, I'll tell them, I don't know what I think about this. I need to go write an email so I know what I think about it. Because that's literally how I work stuff out and how I think about things. And we all think in different ways. Some people think by talking, some people think by just sitting there and thinking, some people think by writing. I mean, we all do all three of those things, but to one extent or another, for me, definitely, if I really need to think about something, I need to write it out to work through it.
If you would have told me that a couple of weeks or a month ago, I would have thought, that sounds kind of weird, but okay, if that fits, fine. Now that I've done it, I understand what that means. I have seen this work and it's like, wow, this has been quite remarkable. And I'm using it now even for my work because I've been doing some leadership trainings sessions on some of the topics that I've been interested in and talked about last week. And then writing it, it was just like, wow, it's impacted my work, my interaction with my facilitation. And now seeing a path forward to writing this book, it's still pretty clear as mud, still looks like vomit, but there's an excitement. It's like writing has clarified my thinking. And maybe what it's done is it's made me aware of my thinking that I didn't understand before.
Well, one of my one-on-one coaching clients, Rob Finley, he just came out with this book a few months ago. And one of the interesting pieces of feedback I got from him, so he's in commercial real estate. So he owns commercial real estate, but he also creates software and tools and businesses that serve other operators in commercial real estate. And when he started the book, he said, I want this book because nobody knows who I am. And I want people to know who I am without me having to tell them who I am. I want them to get the book. And then when I go in to sell my company's software, I want them to know, oh, this is Rob Finley. He's that guy who wrote that book, rather than me having to tell them this is who I am. So that was his initial motivation. However, when we got done with the book, he said, I had no idea how much this book would change my business. He said, I thought I was just going to write something about what I already knew. But he said, as I wrote, I thought through everything. And he said, I ended up completely changing the way I run my business and what my business does because of the process of writing this book. So I think that's similar to what we're talking about here, that the act of writing helps us figure out what we believe or what we don't believe, what we think, how we think, helps us work things out. It really is a way of thinking and a way of working things out just to go through that exercise.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. That's quite interesting. That's an interesting CA actuary book, but yeah, I can totally identify with that now. I get that. And it's interesting when you were saying he wrote the book so people would know who he is. And I thought, I'm guessing the punchline is going to be when he wrote the book, he figured out who he was. And that's sort of
bingo. There you go.
a part of it. Yeah.